So okay.
And then you just share the feed.
Yep.
So it is starting in 10, and right when it says ready, I'm gonna hit the intro scene.
Alrighty.
And now.
I give it.
It is the earthquaking, pillars shaking, podcast listening, leader of the Meat Pop Express, Big Trouble Ben Bishop. And get ready, folks, because you are tuned in to the fastest growing professional wrestling podcast in the world, the 3 Count Podcast.
Hit him with a 3 count. Pin him to the ground and the crowd go wild, man down, know what y'all like. Hit him with a 3 count. On the top row, crowd already know high fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's your boy, your nephew, your cousin. It's the Dawn, and you're here checking out the 3 Count Podcast Debate Show. Let's go down let me just introduce my trios team, okay? All right, introducing first, he is the Red Dog of Red Dogs. He is the man that runs the show because I don't do shit, I don't run shit, I just talk shit. He's the landlord of the Dog Pound. He is Cliff Red Dog Miller.
What up? It is the Air Force veteran intel specialist, the one you call on to get the job done, and your favorite mercenary. So, also your friendly neighborhood Red Dog. What up?
And introducing last but certainly not the least, he is a very important member of the trios teams because he's the one that takes the heat. Ladies and gentlemen, he is my little brother, and that is the only reason he's really on the show. He catches the highlights on YouTube about wrestling, really. And yeah, some people, call him Q. Some call him Napster. Some call him Drip JJ. Some call him Joshua Dumbass. But ladies and gentlemen, here he is, Drip JJ.
Drip driving, got the club bobbing. Forgot the rest of my intro right now because I am too hyped and unfocused right now. I gotta get back in the game. There we go. I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm so unfocused right now. So you guys know why. I don't want to tell the viewers why. But
we're definitely going to mention it. So I'm going to bring it up. Currently, right now, for all of our live viewers, right now a football game is going on. It is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Denver Broncos on CBS. Okay, and your boy right here, Drip JJ, is a Ravens fan. He's a Lamar Jackson fan. He's a Ravens fan. I'm also a Ravens fan, but I'm also a Cowboys fan because the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? But Cliff over here is a Denver Broncos fan, and they're playing right now, and they are losing. Yeah,
doesn't matter to me. Always hardcore to it.
That's fine. So there's hype. So if you hear anybody scream and just started cussing each other out, it's probably not about the topic. It's probably about the football game. That's the storyline for today's show is Ravens versus Broncos. But anyway,
all I'm going to say is fuck JJ.
You know what? I love you too, bro.
Yep. Wish I could say the same right now.
Let's get right down to it. So, like, share, subscribe. All right? For those our YouTube listeners, like our video. Definitely share it out. And definitely subscribe. Hit the bell button so you get notification every time we go live. You don't really, as you can tell, don't want to miss a debate show every Sunday. We're going to talk some wrestling, debate some wrestling topics, and hopefully we entertain you and, on our opinions on wrestling. Go buy our merch if you want to support. Buy our merch at Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm about to say, Josh, that is not our merch. You are
I was being animated, and I was just like,
wait. To get us.
I was just like, wait, no, that's definitely Spider-Man. Greatest hero of all time.
Disney's about to take. Oh man.
Oh yeah. Oh, don't mess with the mouse.
Oh yeah, that's blood money. But anyway, go buy a shirt at Pro Wrestling Tees /3account pod. That's the number 3. Don't you dare type in THREE. Go buy a shirt. Definitely coming in 2022. We will be moving to What a Maneuver as well. So so definitely be on the lookout next year for that. And Cliff, what do we have on the schedule for our other show down the hall in the Studio 42?
Studio 42.
Yeah, I just made that up.
41B, but all right, we'll take 42, I guess. Yeah, man. So we do have some great interviews that are coming up. Let's talk about our first one. Wild Card is going to be on, so out of Texas. So big ups. And then one of my favorite interviews that we've done in a while. Mike Dawkins, aka the Gimmick Attorney, will be out on Thursday this week. So I'm super hyped about it. And the reason why is because, let's be real, this man has been able to get over 150 gimmicks, and trademark. So big ups. It was really fun to actually have an interview with him, and maybe one day we'll find ourselves talking to Conrad Thompson. I don't know. Let's put it out there.
Yeah,
man. So we have some great interviews that are coming up. I can hear myself. That is a big echo.
Yeah, like what you call it, the live stream came up. I was like, oh no, don't do that. Yeah, definitely check out our Now Into the Ring interview shows. Why would you not want to listen to, some dope knowledge being dropped on you for free on our podcast? Like, Now Into the Ring should be paid for. Maybe if you buy shirts, maybe we won't put it on OnlyFans and you have to pay for the interviews. Ooh. Alrighty, so anyway, go make sure you follow us. I'm out there telling our fans how I'm about to gyp them. But no, definitely follow us on all of them.
Say that. Can you say the word gyp them? Because I think this is still a derogatory term.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, my.
Like how we just casually talking about it. I don't think that works. Oh, well. No, listen, if we haven't gotten canceled for half the stuff that's been said before, whatever. Won't be as bad as how, the heat I got last night, because I'm a heat magnet.
Bro. All right, you know what? Let's address it, okay? Let's address last night.
Okay, let's address last night. That's fine.
Because for some of you guys who don't know, we were in West Virginia last night, in Glendale, West Virginia, SCWA. Thank you so much for SCWA first having us out. Second, Chaz over here legitimately had some guys who wanted to fight him in a parking lot.
In Glendale, West Virginia.
Not a smart idea, by the way, but...
No.
They were old, okay? So they weren't going to do anything.
Not even that. It's just not a smart idea.
So, okay. So here's the thing. You want to know how far I took it?
Yeah, you only told me like the bare bones. So that's why I'm like this. That's why I'm like this.
I hear the Reader's Digest version, okay? After the match, spoiler alert, your boys, pure ignorance, retained. All right. Did we win? Did we win by the books? I wrote the book, so I think we did.
Smoking like a true heel.
So the fans at SCWA were not happy about the outcome, right? And there's this one guy, and I will admit I do pick on him. Okay, I have been picking on him for the past 2 shows. Because I just know that, there's this guy in a cowboy hat sitting in the corner, right there at the corner of the guardrail all the time. And I'm like, I just know he's only got the cowboy hat. And he looks like a colonizer, like your typical colonizer. And if you take that offensively, then you deserve to be offended. But yeah, so I think in third time the charm, he was upset, so I'm yelling at him. He's not, biting back. So I guess a kid comes, right? And I guess he's, the kid is related to this old, cowboy hat guy. I had to be, or if not, he's just a good person to stick up for a kid at, in this little community, right? Oh, I'm railing at the kid because he's like, you cheated. I was like, you shut your little mouth, And then a cowboy colonizer go, hey, don't you talk to him like that. And I'm like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you legitimately going to do? I was like, do you want to fight? He's like, I beat you. I'm like, really? Then step up. So he stood up. I'm going back and forth. He stood up. I said, yo, you're not doing anything. I unhooked the guardrail. I said, look, come fight me.
Chat.
And I would then, and just then I walked
put your
away.
name out there.
But the funny thing is, he was going. I'll say this. He was going to come to the guardrail, but I did walk away as soon as he took a step forward. I said, "Yeah, no, we're not going to do this, really," So I go out there, and that's when I left back. And by that point, I was already over my limit of probably talking my trash. Anyway, I should have probably been going to the back anyway. But he just So then, Sicken comes in and was like, so yeah, you got major heat. He's like, what? Yeah. The guy went up to the promoter and was just like, yeah, I'm gonna effing kill that guy. And I'm like, wonderful. That's what I want.
This dude's ass probably grinning like, yes.
I was
Piper heat.
But guess what? But listen to this. Guess what? Guess what I did though? Guess what? I took a match, because Cliff was right after my match. So I sat in the back, I was chill, relax. But you know what I did? I went out there.
You fucking asshole.
I sat at my table. I had my knucks right. I had the knuckles, which are real brass knuckles, on the table. I had both belts. I had my knife in my pocket, and my partner was right there. So if he tried, he didn't, but he didn't do anything. As soon as the show was over, he looked. I saw him look at me, and he kept walking his old ass out the door. So I addressed.
Let me. Okay, so we have some questions really quick. Why do you have an OnlyFans? OnlyFansTV. That's why, because it's gone more PG or PG-13, and we want to be a part of it, so we want to help kind of push that. We have some people saying, "Yeehaw." Was it real to them? Yes. Don't underestimate old hillbillies. Keith writes in, good stuff. Did he have a Confederate flag on the hat? No.
He did not.
They're still trying to figure out why there are W's on M&M's. God bless, man. Did he have a wooden leg? Yeah, he had a parrot too. You know what? It was wild though, man. Because I remember you came back to me and you're like, "Hey, yo, like, there's a dude out there trying to fight me." I was under the impression it was like some young dude that wanted to fight you. I was like, "Bet." I guess we know what's going on. I didn't know it was an old dude till just now. Like, bro,
it was old dude. It was old dude. Yeah,
let me choke on my freaking Invisalign. What the hell?
You better chill out over there and drink your Ensure, old man, before you get up and break a hip.
That's what I said. Like, go take your insulin shot before you go.
So, group picture next show. Oh, yes.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But yes, I addressed it. There it is. All right. I won't address it anymore. Unless I get asked by the interviews, I'll use it as my claim to fame.
Yo, it was a good time last night, though, man.
It was. I think the overall show as a whole was really solid. Yeah.
I can't get over the pose. Oh, he's talking about JJ's pose where he's like this.
Oh.
No, that was a reference to Michael Hayes' story. Oh, at the Hall of Fame. Oh, yeah. Yo, it was it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and especially, I'm not gonna front. I'm gonna be honest. The last matches of that show was fire.
The last 3 matches. What was the last 3?
There was y'all's, there was mine, and it was the main event.
Oh, main event. Oh, right. Okay, yes. I can agree with that. Yeah.
When you come to Northeast Florida, let me know. Bet we'll let you know when we show up to Jacksonville.
Bet. All right. Let's get down to business. We're gonna debate some wrestling. We're not gonna just put ourselves over, which we do all the time. Everybody say hi to Gabe, the unofficial member of the podcast.
Also, if you guys can, share this out with everybody else and get some more people in.
Yes, send us here. Yeah, let's listen.
Let's see how many more people we can make mad.
That's facts. I'm down with making people mad, especially today. So let's get started. Let's get down to business. Oh, make sure you follow us on all social media. I don't know if I made sure I got that through. 3count_pod on Twitter, but everything else is 3countpod, and that's the number 3. If you type in THREE, then you're probably new, and just don't do that. Okay, just don't do it. It's the number 3. All right, let's get down to the first segment. That's always on the 3 Count Podcast debate show. I like this the buffer. What's your match of the week? So, Cliff, what is your match of the week? We'll start with you today.
You know, it's not gonna be on my list. We have to give a shout out to someone who made a debut. He's a friend of ours. He's a friend of the show. He's actually looking to get on and debate with us one time, which I'm not going to front. We may have to bring him on. But let's give a big shout out to Alex Kane and Bud Heavy. That is going to be the match of the week. Only because Alex Kane has been on our show, and he's a huge fan of ours, and we love him. So,
yes.
Shout outs.
Alex, yeah, listen. That's one of the people you just, you just hit up on, on social media, and they give you dope knowledge, and yeah, and he's a cool guy. So yeah, shout out to him. All right, Joshua, boom. What's your match of the week?
I'm gonna go with the match on SmackDown, the Street Profits and Alpha Academy.
Okay.
I actually like that match. I thought it was dope, so that's the one I'm going with.
Going with that, all right.
Better than that Liv Morgan Carmella 8th rematch.
Hey, listen, that's what WWE TV is mostly, is rematches. But the Street Profits and Alpha Academy was definitely dope. All right, my match of the week is this is a shocker. I never thought I would say this. I would put this person in my match of the week. It happened on Friday night. It opened up Rampage. That was Bryan Danielson's match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Were there Young Bucks crap in it? Yes. But I knew what I was getting, and I enjoyed it. And I think, yeah. So yeah, Bryan Danielson and Nick Jackson on Rampage gets my match of the week. Oh, that felt so disgusting to say.
Ooh, Nick is turning you.
I still hate the Young Bucks. All right, let's get down to our first actual debate topic. All right, boom. Sticking with AEW, keeping that right there on the subject. So Eric Bischoff came out on his podcast, and he said that AEW is going to run into a problem, whereas they keep giving out surprises. We're going to get accustomed to it, and when we don't get a surprise, the fans are going to go home upset. And also the fact every surprise you do, you water down the surprise you just did before. And so should Tony Khan hold off on his surprises, or should he just keep throwing them out the woodwork like he's doing right now? We'll start with you, Josh. Then we'll go Cliff. And then, yeah, I'll have it at the end.
Mr. Bischoff, I was kicking WWE's ass in 95, was it? Or 96?
96.
Okay, 96. I think to an extent he's partially correct. I think you should always try to surprise your fans to an extent, you know what I mean? I can see where he could say where it can get a little watered down, but also I think that if you're giving them too many surprises, I think you're gonna kind of run into the same problem eventually, with WWE, where it's you have all the talent on this roster and you can't use all your talent if you're gonna keep doing surprises. But I personally think surprises is what kind of helps get people to look at your product, even if it's not even on the TV, but like on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm iffy about this one. I would say try to always surprise your audience and make it fresh in sort of way. That's what I'm trying to go with it. I don't.
Don't say you don't need what you call it, the big name, like the big debut.
Yeah, I don't want you don't need always the big debut, but you can always surprise your audience in other and newer ways besides the big debut. That's what I'm trying to say. Boom.
It's funny because like I kind of agree. Like we don't need big surprises like all the time, because that's the point. It's a surprise, right? You get surprised when you see it happen. So I think it's weird because like the month of September was just kind of like an odd month, right? Because CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Ruby Soho, like all those names got brought into the business into AEW at once. Other than that, when was the last real surprise that we got for AEW? Like, honestly.
Christian Cage.
When was that?
I don't know.
Probably 5 months ago.
Is like it's not like
that was like I think it was Christian Cage, and that was early in the year.
It was like 5 months ago.
Yeah, it was after the Rumble. It was after the Rumble because
like 90 days. You probably figure like April, May, and before that, really like the next really big surprise, and I say the really big surprise would have been Brody Lee and Matt Hardy. You know what I mean? Like those are like the big surprises, like when they flip. Like I couldn't really be like, there's just nothing like, I don't know, man. That's just what I would think. But it's not like AEW is just like, oh man, we're gonna give you this cool surprise. Check this out. No, now we're getting all the dream matchups that we wanted to see, right? Bryan Danielson, CM Punk. We saw with Darby Allin, CM Punk and Darby Allin. CM Punk, and we have Will Hobbs. And you're gonna see more matches with CM Punk. You see Daniel Bryanson with Kenny Omega. Now we're getting all these crazy matches that we were looking for, and I mean, where's really the next big surprise going to come from? I mean, we got Adam Cole and we got, and Jungle Boy. I'm just thinking, like, who's Kevin Owens, really? Like, and that's going to be in, January? So, I mean, to me, it's like, there's nothing really big. There's no real big surprises anymore. I mean, for right now, I think some people just need to chill out and stop thinking that we're going to get all these big surprises all the time, because the next big person that's out there that everybody's looking at is Wyndham Rotunda, and no one even knows what's going on with him. Whether he's going to Impact, he's going to AEW, or if he shows up Ring of Honor, MLW, we don't know what's going on with him. So I just think people just, quit thinking that it's going to be a big surprise for AEW, because it's just not right now.
So going back to what to Bischoff saying, I agree with what Bischoff's saying as far as, if you keep giving out these surprises, it waters it down. I kind of felt the same way in a sense, because you won't get what you call it. You won't beat the magnitude of CM Punk returning. But I know we had the debate a couple weeks when Bryan Danielson showed up the same night as Adam Cole did. And we were like, well, that diminishes such and such beforehand, all that. But I got to agree with Cliff. It's like September was a weird month. Everybody, everyone's 90 days from the, the mass release was getting, was up. People were finally, seeing where they were going to go. It's what now? We're looking at October. They have Full Gear is their next, pay-per-view. And then they're done, then they're just, they're back on the road. So I don't see them doing any other big surprises as far as debuts concerned. Like like you said, Bray Wyatt is your, the next person to be on the lookout for. But like I said, what's to say that he won't go to Impact? I think Impact is a good place for him. I think he would get lost in the shuffle in AEW, or he would take the spot of somebody that we, who could be on the show. I think he would thrive over there in Impact. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, I think we like to find things wrong with everything, and because with the whole AEW versus WWE, we want to find something wrong in both companies where it's like, all right, well, they're doing this too much. Relax. Like, AEW is doing good business right now. They had a hot month, like we said, a weird month of September, where they had all these names, these big talent names, and Ruby Soho show up.
Oh, come on. So dirty.
I agree with Eric Bischoff said. I just don't think it's relevant to what AEW is doing right now. So yeah.
Also, I can't wait, man, because now that Kiera Hogan signed on full time for AEW, like, bro, I'm excited for that women's division, man. Like, it's gonna start growing. It's gonna get stronger and get better. I'm hyped.
You know what? Listen, they haven't done anything too stupid. And I said
Too stupid.
There's some things I don't. But yeah. So no, I definitely hopefully they actually put her on the show.
I'm just saying that the next big surprise that's coming to AEW, right, is gonna be Pure Ignorance and Red Dog. Just put it out there. It's not even a surprise.
You know what?
It's gonna happen.
Speak it into existence. Speak it. Yes, sir.
Listen.
Speak it.
That's facts. Maybe I can get my my match with Waves and Curls because I just want to fight. And they
Speak it.
Bro, I low key. You know what? I want to see. Chaz is out here just dogging, right? Just all of a sudden it's just like, hey man, we have a match for you on AEW Dark. And you're like, bet it's against the Young Bucks, and you can be like,
you're right. You're absolutely right.
And then inside Chaz's kids, I'm like, yeah.
Listen, I'm wrestling the Young Bucks.
Right.
Like, regardless of my personal opinion on what they do, like, there's there's credibility behind that Young Bucks name, whether we like it or not. You said you wrestled the Young Bucks point blank. Really? A word. So that's that. He bring the temperature up, Cliff.
Yeah.
And that's awesome segue for our next segment, Temp Check.
Temp Check.
So, Temp Check. Alrighty, so Temp Check, right? For those of you who don't know what Temp Check is, we are going to give you who we think is the hottest and or coldest wrestler going into this week. All right, so I'm going to start this one off today. I don't really start off the Temp Check, but I got to give it to you, okay? I got to start this one off. You want to know who is the hottest wrestler going into this week? You want to know?
Is it Pure Ignorance?
No, it's not. Nope, it's not. Even though that's a good choice. I hope that's yours, Cliff. I hope that's your pick. But no, it's not Pure Ignorance, G. It's not Pure Ignorance.
I feel like it's someone that sits at the head of the table.
I'm just saying, for 3 weeks straight, he is my tribal chief.
My tribal chief.
Your tribal chief.
Yes, he is.
The man that sits at the head of the table.
Yes, he does.
He is the undisputed.
What?
Universal.
What?
Heavyweight champion.
What?
Roman Reigns. My man Roman Reigns got Paul Heyman shaking in his boots. That man pissed on live television on Friday night. That's what I'm talking about. Have white people out here shaking in 2021. Come on, like, listen, Roman Reigns, that guy right there, hottest. Like, if I don't understand, if you are a wrestling fan, whether you are on the E side or the AEW side, the Impact side, I don't care. If you understand what wrestling and you really know what and you get it, you have to like come to your senses and you have to agree that Roman Reigns is the best thing in wrestling. I have said it for 10 months now. He is the hottest thing in wrestling. Don't believe everything that PWI says. Roman Reigns and the Tribal Chief, bruh. Like, listen, that man had God on his side.
Oh man.
Like,
all the comments are ready for that.
That's I want to bring that debate up. I want that debate. But like, let's just be real. Like, the rope snap, and it just so happened to coincidence. Like that booking. Like, come on. Like, it doesn't beat the Demon. And say what you want about it if it's wonky and how it's the Fiend. It's not just the Fiend. It's the Demon's first loss. Man, whatever. He's still no. It's Roman Reigns, hottest wrestler. Coldest. You ready for it? Coldest? Bianca Belair. I don't know, fam.
That was my coldest pick.
Yeah, so, man.
We're on the same
page.
Losing
to Sasha, it's just, we know how the triple threat's gonna go at in Saudi Arabia. It's nah, fam. It's in there. It sucks. Hopefully, what you call it, when on Raw, she can do, get out of a bad situation on SmackDown. She just got to get out of there. So, because it look like Raw is turning into the BET, so. But yeah.
Hey, did this dude just say Raw turning the BET?
Oh, all the blast. The only they took off, they got Omos. They should have put Omos and AJ on SmackDown.
Omos.
I've been calling him Omos since what you call it. And
I know. I've been waiting for you to correct yourself.
I'm not. His name is Omos to me. Like famous Amos, the little cookies.
No.
But go ahead, who's your favorite? What you got? No, the temp check. Hottest wrestler, coldest wrestler. What you got for me?
All right. Well, I want to put out 2 hot and 1 cold.
2. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we gotta be real. So one of them we're gonna take outside the box because actually we'll call the one in the box right now. We'll call the one that's in the box. Hottest in the box. Now you went ahead.
Hottest in the box.
Yep. Hottest in the box. The hot box.
I like it. I'm putting that in my book. I'm writing that.
So let's talk about the man, not the man. Let's talk about the men and the woman who was the first draft from NXT. I put them on the coldest last week. They're my hottest right now because we got to bring out Hit Row. Bruh, first NXT call-up in the draft on SmackDown, bruh. That was on some other shit right there, and I'm hyped for them. Hopefully they can utilize them properly, like, what I mean? We don't see them get called up like Sanity. We see like Hit Row get called up because I think it's gonna be dumb. It's gonna be dumb fly. Like, it's just gonna be so hot. I can't wait.
Yeah, cousin Swerve got his thing going.
I know, and I was like talking about it last week, man. I was like, yo, they're probably one of the coldest wrestlers, and I was really worried.
You did, yeah.
I was really worried, and we talked about it off air about some things that were happening, and here they are on SmackDown. So I'm hyped.
Fox, baby. Fox.
On Fox too. Oh yeah. Now let's talk about the hottest wrestler. Let's talk about the hottest wrestler outside of all the major promotions, right? Ooh. So we got to talk about it, man. So we brought it up. I talked about it. Match of the week, right? Alex Kane making his debut at MLW But we gotta talk about. Well, it's not really his debut. It was just he's making his mark on MLW. So we talk about the debut of another person who signed to MLW. That man being Beastman. So I want to throw out big congrats to him, and that's pretty fly that he's made a sign on MLW. Maybe one of us worked him on the show. I don't know. Shout out to Keith for that, because that was a big thank you for that. So yeah, I'm hyped. I'm hyped seeing Beastman on MLW. So big ups to him. I will go out of my way to say my coldest wrestler.
I'm not gonna do that.
Somebody tell me where Dolph Ziggler is.
He's telling jokes.
I mean, these last few weeks have been a joke.
Got him. So no, stop.
Yeah, so Dolph Ziggler, I know Robert Roode's out there too, but they have just not been around, man. And for being top dogs, man, they are just not on at all. So it's like that's a tough bring. So I gotta call it out like I see it. JJ, temp check.
All right.
Temp check. Not an Omnitrix, Josh. Grow up.
Boop, 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 boop.
Anyway, so before Chaz took my coldest wrestler, right, which I was gonna say Bianca Belair. I'm still gonna go with Bianca Belair, but I'm also going to throw Liv Morgan and Carmella both as well.
Carmella after that mask, that shit was cold as ice.
Oh, bro. I'm glad. Because weren't they in B-More, right? I'm glad B-More told her the truth. She looked stupid. She looked dumb. But yeah, I'm putting them in the cold list because it's like this feud should be done.
Yeah.
Like, over. Finito. And I'm putting them both in there just because it's like no one really cares anymore. I saw this like one thing. It was like they've had like 6 or 7 matches since Money in the Bank.
Bruh, word?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's been bad. It's been bad. It's been real bad.
That's terrible.
I haven't even noticed it.
Yeah.
We have.
Yeah. We have. Because it's every week, it feels like. Well, it probably is every week. But yeah, I'm putting them both in there just for the simple fact that the feud needs to end. Liv should be moving on to better things at this point. Like, it's over. Now, I'm going with the human beast. That's a human beast. The beast incarnate. Brock Lesnar. That dude, as Pat McAfee pointed out, the perfect human specimen.
Remember when you were hating on Pat McAfee?
Remember when you hated Pat? Actually, you know what? It was like last year this time about how much you hated Pat McAfee.
Like I said, I watched Pat McAfee's show. I even said that. I was like, I just hated the fact that he was in that role. He proved us wrong. Also, I did get a tweet. I remember, I think it was like a few months ago, I got a tweet from Pat McAfee.
I remember, yeah, you told me that. And I brought
You replied to my tweet.
Yeah, and I brought up again how I was like, I hope he doesn't listen to our podcast and how you know.
Oh, he's a good sport.
Dude, you legitimately bastardized this man so bad. You tore your shirt
live.
I don't recall.
Oh, don't worry.
Okay, it's on TikTok.
JJ does not remember that. He does not remember that.
TikTok does. Instagram
you know who else
does.
remembers it? Pepperidge Farm remembers it.
Pepperidge Farm doesn't remember that either.
All right.
But yeah, Brock is hot. Those are my cold, down bad. Yeah, Bianca's down bad. Like, Oh yeah, Naomi's also on the come up, so that's my women's getting hot. I like what they're doing with her for now.
You know who I like, actually? I'm glad that you brought that up, like the warming up. Actually, that should be something in there, too. Like, who's hot, who's cold, and who's warming up. I like Toxic Attraction.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like them warming up. Like, I kind of like seeing Mandy, Gigi, and JC, like, together. I'm like, oh, bruh.
It's a good little action they got. I like it.
It's weird.
It is weird.
Weird. But I like it. It's a good weird.
You notice how Jeezy's theme song, though? Like, Toxic Attraction's theme song is Marilyn Manson inspired.
Yeah.
Like, Sweet Dreams inspired. I'm like, oh, I know this rhythm and I know that guitar riff. That's pretty good.
Well, I mean, if I got to do a warming up, then I think, but I'm gonna go with the Steiner kid.
Oh, Braun Breaker.
Yeah.
Hey, he added me on Facebook. Thanks, Braun.
Him and what's it? Wayne Gacy? Wayne Gacy?
Oh, Joe Gacy. Joe Gacy.
Yes. Joe
Safe
Gacy.
Space.
I'm about to say Wayne Gacy. I was like, wait.
No,
bro.
yeah, Joe Gacy, the woke guy, yeah. The one that I was like, that's totally JJ's gimmick on the indies.
Creating safe spaces out here.
That's listen, tell me that's not JJ's gimmick on the indies.
That's definitely. That's definitely.
That's what I told him. I was like, "Yo, like this is your gimmick." But yeah, we should start adding that like a warming up. Hopefully I remember that next week. Warming up. That's not a bad idea. All right, let's get to debate topic number 2. All right, so we got to get a little serious. This past week on Dynamite, MJF cut his promo. Darby Allin interrupted the promo, and MJF told a story that's already been, out into public knowledge. Darby has said this, story, on his own previously. So this information was out there already. But he told him that, he was in a car accident with his uncle, and his uncle passed, but MJF kind of said the wrong man died, implying that Darby should have indeed passed away from the, in the car accident, So we see this kind of a trend in wrestling of mentioning the dead as far as to further storylines and all that stuff. They do it a lot with Eddie. WWE have a very, very long track record of mentioning Eddie and the further, his death and stuff. Even saying that, having Batista say Eddie's in hell, all that stuff. So is mentioning the dead in wrestling too much? We'll start with you, Cliff, this time.
Why? What they gonna do? They gonna come back? Like, his story's been out there. Like, Darby put that story out there himself. I will tell you what gets too far. Some things get taken too far. Charlotte's brothers, the promo about Charlotte's brother being dead, that was too far. Dean Ambrose talking about we all get punishment taken back to us, just as Roman. That was too far. Mentioning something that's already out there in the public knowledge that Darby Allin has always talked about and been open about talking about. Not a thing that I think was taken too far. Because at the end of the day, when they probably are sitting in the back cutting a promo, they're probably talking back and forth about what they're going to say, and you just kind of get the okays. You got to get the checks and balances. Now, had he said, nah, I'm not cool with that, and he did it anyway, and then some real shit happened, yeah, at that point, I'd have been like, yeah, you take it too far. But I think in that context, no, but I think in other contexts, it's been taken too far. And I do agree that some people take it way too far. I think there are certain lines that you just don't cross, and it's becoming a trend, and it's almost like it's kind of weird. You have to tread lightly when you're talking about it. I know it was brought to my attention that a person wanted to cut a promo on me regarding my family, and it was, hey, I think we're pretty tight. Should I mentioned certain things happen with that person's family, they wouldn't have been cool with that. And I'm not putting out names, Now we'll talk about it later. We'll talk about it off air. But yeah. Like I wasn't cool with it. I was like, I understand why you want to do it, and mind you, this person was like my veteran, so I was like, hey, yes and no. Like I'm okay with you mentioning certain things, but I'm not okay with you talking about it like that. So, I mean, you gotta have like that balance, give and take. But at the end of the day, you gotta talk about it. You have that discussion in the back because as soon as you're okay with it, then boom, like let it go. So I think personally, I don't think that person was crossing the line, but like Dean, and even Dean talked about it. He was uncomfortable talking about Roman's cancer, right? Roman having leukemia. He wasn't okay with talking about it, and they kind of forced him into it. So certain things get taken too far, and I don't think that was one of them though.
So, all right. I'm all, I'm big on entertainment. I'm big on the industry and how it's, entertainment stuff and all that. I don't think mentioning the dead in wrestling is too much. I don't think I have a thing. I'm very, very loose when it comes to story. Like I'm always down for whatever can portray the story and gets that gets the viewer or the audience deeper into the story, make them care more. I'm big on emotions, channeling emotions. Whatever that you need to do to display that, I feel like it's fair. It's free game. Now, of course, yes, you need to have permission. Like I said, me and Cliff are in doing what you call whatever spot, and I goes start running off the mouth about his daughter and his wife, and not mentioning it all. Yeah, that's wrong, absolutely. But just even of the fact like Charlotte's brother, I don't think that's too bad. I don't think that crossed the line. I don't think Roman's leukemia crossed the line. Is it uncomfortable? Yes. I mean, I was uncomfortable as well hearing it, but I don't think it's too much or it crossed a line. Like all in all, we look at like this. It's entertainment. We're playing characters. It is not who we are. Now, yes, the thing's real, like real life. But isn't that what makes the story better? Is when you blur the lines between reality and fiction. Isn't that why we like wrestling? Because wrestling is has that way of blurring the lines. Because I feel once we start saying something is too much and too much, now we're pigeonholing ourselves. Like, all right, you can't do that. All right, you can't do that. Like you're taking tools out of your toolbox as artists. I feel like when you start, putting these, I don't know what word I'm trying to say, but yeah, I don't think it's
breaking spaghetti. You're like, I'm breaking spaghetti.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Like you're breaking tools? Like is that what you're trying to do?
I don't know. But yeah, I don't think it's too much. No. It's entertainment. I think you're playing characters. Like we forget that these are not who, these are their characters. So why are we getting hurt over characters? Like what you call it? You don't get mad, when someone gets shot in a movie. Like, oh my God, he's in the back of the head. Like,
first of all, it depends on what movie.
Like The Godfather? Come on, that's sad.
That's Infinity War? Bro, I left the movie theater like, what happened? I sat in my car in the theater for 20 minutes like, what happened? What did I just watch?
Yeah, that was me too.
For me, in Infinity War, it was Gamora because I just recently watched the Guardians of the Galaxy movies over, and I was like, oh yeah, I was like, motherfucker. But anyway, yeah, we went off on a tangent.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. If you want to, catch all that, nerd talk, go listen to clips of the podcast that he's on, Nerd of the Round Table.
Nerds of the Round Table.
Got to plug that other podcast in there, man. But go ahead, Josh.
It's for me. I think it's a thin line.
Oh my gosh.
However, if the person, in my opinion, I think if the person's cool with it, and they get the okay, you know what I mean? Then it's fine. If the person's like, hey, no, that's not cool, and you still do it, you know what I mean? That's when it's too far. I think that's why I mean by it's a thin line. It needs to be like, it needs to be approved of. You know what I mean? That's just my personal way. That's just how I personally think. Like me personally, I wouldn't give a crap. You know what I mean? But I do think it's a thin line. You gotta also respect other people, because some people can't take what they dish out, or you know what I mean? But they can't take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just how I feel about it. And I think you guys summarized it pretty well, to where I feel like I'm just going to be copying what you guys basically said. So, yeah.
No, I mean, I disagree with Cliff that there's there's boundaries. You know
what's funny is like the question just got asked, right? Was sunny days inappropriate? I will say, I'll be honest, I had no idea what that was referenced to until like a few years ago, and yeah, I mean, Sean putting Brett's business out there like that. Come on, man! Like nobody else knew what was going on except for those two. But once you found out what was going on, I was like, oh no!
That's just right. That's the point.
Shit, but I was like, bruh.
Right, that's the point. You wouldn't have known if you didn't know what was going on.
Right.
That was for them.
At the time, I was like, yeah, I cool. He doesn't like the sun. Then when I got old, I was like, oh no.
I don't think it was because no one there. No, I don't think so.
I mean, I bet there's probably kids out there that are like, oh, I didn't even know that Charlotte had a little brother. Like,
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
So, like, yeah, man, I hate to say it, but we all too sensitive.
I mean, looking at it through these eyes, yeah, but at that time, no, that like the sunny days thing was perfectly fine. I think, but like I said, talking about Darby Allin's like dead uncle because he was intoxicated and crashed, like, nah, I don't.
Right,
I don't think so.
Exactly. Alrighty, let's hey Cliff, go check what's the chat looking like before we get on to our last topic.
Yeah, when The Godfather came out, it was extremely violent for 1973. Nowadays, it's like nothing. So that's kind of like one of our biggest topics brought up. Also, how about Punk talking about Jerry Lawler's mom? I mean, it's WWE. The thing is, it's so weird because like at AEW wise, they're like scripting promos, but they're not really like, they're just giving those guys like the outline. Whereas like WWE is like super scripted, so you have to read what's like getting handed to you. So regardless whether you think it's too far or not, WWE was just like, it's good shit. We just got to put it down like this, bro.
The worst part is it's exactly how Vince was, probably.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I can't sit back and be like, nah. At that time, man, like Jerry had to be okay with it. I don't know, man. It's like I said, if you bring it up with kids, like that's going too far. Regardless if you ask it for permission or not, I still kind of feel like that might be going too far. Because you're opening a door for other people that may not know who you are, and they would just be like, oh, well, that person talks shit about that person's like family, so can I. And be like, teeth will be missing. Teeth will be missing.
I'm just like, listen, you're not gonna hit me. Fight me. Let's throw the hands.
Just because that old man wouldn't hit you at Glendale don't mean I won't. We've already established that 43 seconds into a match.
Fuck you, Cliff. Golly. Anyway, move to the next topic. Our last debate topic. All right. So, the draft. All right, the draft. Friday night, SmackDown was night one of the draft. Night two will be tomorrow on Monday Night Raw on USA. So the draft has had a lot of different formats throughout the years. When they first did it in 2004, was it 2003? It's 2004. Because
04.
Yes, because the second one, that was when Cena went to Raw. And then Batista went to SmackDown. Yeah. That was 06. Yeah. So, yes, 04. So with now that it's becoming an annual thing, which format of the draft did you enjoy most? Let's see here. I'll start this one off. And then we'll go.
Yeah, I think JJ started this one off. You see this man is nodding off like in the middle. This is reason because his room's so dark. This man's going to sleep.
No, I'm not. I am at the edge of my seat right now.
Son, you was like this for a hot minute. You was like this.
No, I was like,
and then you randomly did this thing. You was like, like it's like that new trend on TikTok, the serial killer. Like they haven't caught a serial killer. They haven't caught yet. And you was like.
So, all right, I'll start. Josh, don't fall asleep.
No, I am actually up.
Yeah, okay. So, out of format, so I got two answers on this one. I enjoyed the way the draft was the first time they did it, the very first one. They had somebody represent SmackDown, somebody represent Raw, and they just took turns picking, throughout the night. I enjoy that. You can still do it 2 nights, whether you want to do one on SmackDown, one on Raw, you can still do that. Everyone gets, there's 20 picks. You get 10 throughout the night on SmackDown, and then on the second night, round 2, you get 10 picks. I think, that's a good enough way to, shake up the roster. Everyone's available, blah, blah, blah. Boom, call it a day. I also enjoyed when they did it when Raw had, because they considered Raw a 3-hour show. So Raw got 3 draft picks, while SmackDown had 2 draft picks, so they were a 2-hour show. When they started doing that, it was kind of wonky because it automatically looks like Raw gets, a higher advantage because they have more draft picks, but they was like, well, they have a longer show, so they need more people. Okay, they made it work for as silly as it was, but it made sense. So I like that. Now this
sucks.
It was just picking people. Of course, SmackDown was going to pick Roman Reigns. That's their champion. Like, what? We know Roman's not going anywhere. We know Roman's not leaving SmackDown. We know, we know Bobby's not leaving Raw.
Raw, right.
We know that. There's no, I'm worried. You think Bobby's leaving? You think so?
Yeah.
But you think, I think they don't want to do Bobby and Brock. I think Brock's going Raw.
No. Brock can do whatever Brock wants to do.
Well, Brock is a free agent.
That's also very true.
Brock is a free agent. I just saw he just thanked Paul Heyman for his free agent status.
Oh yeah.
Which was like right at the end of the show.
Yeah, because that's why he had him. He sent Paul and the Usos to Raw to make sure he got drafted to Raw.
To make sure they got drafted.
Right.
No. They wanted to make sure that the Usos didn't get drafted to Raw, that they got drafted to SmackDown. And what he told Jimmy and Jay was, if they didn't get drafted to SmackDown, leave Paul on Raw.
Oh, right. That's exactly, yes, that is what it is. But yeah, I hated this. I didn't like it. But now that's what I think. I think the very first one when they did it, they had it was Flair and Vince. Wow, Flair and Vince and Linda as the head in the middle, as the head. That's a weird time period, guys. Think about it now, wow. But yeah, that's the way had somebody represents the Raw, represents SmackDown, 10 picks a night, boom, there it is. I like that. That's how they could do it. I like that way, and I like that was 26. Was that 2016?
For which one?
I think it was 2017.
It was 2017 when they
Is it 2017? No, 2016. It might be 2017 or 16. I think it was 17.
They just switched it. They just switched it from that. This is the first year they didn't do the 3 iron. I'm like,
yeah. So it would have been 2016 was the first time they did the 3s.
Okay, so yeah. See, I like that for me. Those are my 2. What do you think, JJ? And you've seen a lot of drafts.
I have. I hate this new one. It feels like they don't. It's like they don't.
I remember
care.
JJ as a kid, being the sport kid that he was, loved the WWE Draft.
Yes, I did.
As a little kid, JJ loved the draft. He was when it was still real to him. Yeah.
Ha. But yeah, I just don't like this. I don't like the new one. It feels like they're not putting any effort into it.
Right.
I think. Anyway, the effort's not there. And if you look back at even previous drafts, there's at least an effort. Hell, even the last one, they were showing the war rooms. You know what I'm saying?
They did do that.
They did.
The fucking robot was there.
Right.
It was dumb, but at least it was putting forth effort to make the draft feel, you know what I mean? Excitement and real, you know what I mean? And this one just is like, Charlotte, yeah, she's on SmackDown now. Oh yeah, Roman, yeah, he's on SmackDown too. Oh, yeah, they're on Raw. He's on SmackDown. Oh yeah, he's on Raw. Oh yeah, he's on Raw too. Oh yeah, we forgot that one. Yeah, we got him. We got Ricochet. Yeah, he's on Raw too.
No, it was like, we got Aaliyah, who was called up on the main roster in like April.
I forgot.
Good for her.
Never knew that. Never knew.
Good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy for her.
Yeah, that's just. It just yeah.
Well, that she's been on the main roster since April doing nothing.
She
forgot
beat Dakota
was
Kai on main event.
What's main event?
Don't worry about it.
Same show as Superstars.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Superstars is better.
What?
I'm joking. They both suck. But yeah,
Saturday Morning Slam was better than both of those shows combined.
I'm talking about Velocity. Let me get Sunday Night Heat back.
Bruh.
That's what
give me Saturday night. Give me Saturday Night Main Event. That's what they should do.
Saturday. Yeah, I just hate how I just hate the effort. If I was to pick which draft I liked the most.
The format, not the draft. The format.
Yeah, not the draft. Yeah, format. Yeah, that's what I meant.
It's the saying. I like the 04 NBA draft class, guys. Shut up, Josh.
That class was trash anyway.
It was trash. Better. You should have went 03.
I just said a random year.
Yeah, and then we told you how bad it was.
Thanks.
But, the 2000s one was worse.
Shut up. All right, get to your favorite. Get your favorite format.
I actually kind of liked the 3-2. That was like kind of recent. I actually did like that one because it made sense. Yeah.
That's cool. I think that every draft has the reasons why they have it, right? So I would want to think that football, you play football games, right, to determine who's going to be the number one draft pick, and worst team gets the number one draft pick, best team gets the worst draft pick. I think there's implications for what happens if you play like shit during the year.
Survivor Series.
I think that the matches for the draft should have some stakes to it. Should have some serious stakes to it. If you win your match, you get to pick. And if you get to pick, I think that works best for WWE. I hate the fact that we have two people just stand up there and read cue cards like this is the damn Oscars. It's not what it is. I hate it so much. the one last week at Baltimore, man, I'm gonna be honest, was trash. Just straight basura. Like, I was like, I cannot believe that this is what we're doing here. I hate it every bit, man. I was like, I can't do this. I was like, this is dumb. I need something better, something new. And yeah, I wanted to go back to when, like, you had a match. If your team won that match, then you got your show got the pick. And I want that again. I want that again. I don't want two stupid general managers reading off a damn card to tell me who's getting drafted to what show. I think it's dumb.
I feel like you also implement Survivor Series into that.
I think so, but the thing is, I think the draft should have to happen after Survivor Series. It should happen in December because, like, it makes no sense to have it in October. Like, Survivor Series is going to be SmackDown versus Raw. You've just changed over to rosters in October the roster even changed to October 22nd. That's when official roster changes happen. They're drafting tomorrow so that the roster changes on the 22nd so they can wrap up these stories. Just have it change after Survivor Series so you can have some real stuff happen. It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like, so what? 2 weeks later, these guys are like, yeah, Team Red, Team Blue, care about this show that last week I was just teaming with my friends. Like, fuck out of here, bro. Like, December should be the draft anyway. Because then technically,
New Year, new me.
Royal Rumble is this big cluster, right? You're on the road to WrestleMania. And then by the time that Survivor Series comes, guess what? The draft happens again, and you draft. And then you run your new teams from January around. I was like, this is running during a fiscal year. That's dumb. Get out of here.
Cliff, stop making sense, bro.
No.
You're not allowed to do that.
I'm only allowed to make sense. WWE doesn't want to listen to me.
This is WWE. You're not supposed to make sense right now.
Although I'm not gonna lie, if I was like Rich Golden, I would definitely take the Wu-Tang Clan as my first draft pick.
Yeah.
I think that they could implement Survivor Series into it. Like, if you lost your Survivor Series, if you're like the worst brand, didn't win that many matches, you get the first pick.
But but the thing is, I would want NXT in there too.
Yeah, and then I would think I would want first pick. I think.
Oh right. Yep.
In this sense, the way I would want to get
most matches.
Yeah, like if you win Survivor Series, you get you get first pick.
Right. Yeah. Because you got switch it around. Yeah. Makes sense,
you gotta switch it around. Like, you gotta make this sense. Like, if you win Survivor Series, all right, you get the first pick in the draft. And then you gotta also understand, like, who's eligible. Like, if you're gonna keep, like,
champions should not be eligible.
I agree.
I hate that. That's so dumb.
We shouldn't be switching titles over different shows. That's how you don't make these titles mean anything.
It was Street Profits and New Day where they literally like, yo, here's the Raw title, here's the SmackDown title.
They literally.
I was like, yo, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah. So, to avoid
the only champions that should probably change would be like the Universal, the WWE, or United States Intercontinental, maybe.
I don't think so.
Maybe, but I wouldn't.
I think all champions have to stay on their respective brands.
Yeah.
And you know what? To be fair, I'll tell you this: the only one I can change is the women's tag titles and the 24/7, the 24/7 title. That's it.
Yeah, it's the women's tag. Yeah, that's like let's just say we're just fancy booking at this point. We bring NXT into it. You're gonna have the NXT tag team champions go on SmackDown and leave the belts on SmackDown, and you know what I'm saying? Like, nah. So, yeah, champions are excluded, and
except Hit Row, because they have the North American title.
That's crazy. That's funny that you say that and you mention that. That's true. Like, and then you can there's so many storylines that you can put in that. You can put like somebody gets an exemption card. Like, yeah, I can't be drafted. Like, why? I got these. Yeah, it's kind of like what you call it. How Fight did with their tournament for the belt. They had wild cards, like the little legit Uno wild card. It's like, yeah, I got a wild card. I can place myself in any match in the tournament, bruh. Like O'Shea, he had a wild card. Yeah. But yeah, like something like that. Like, yeah, man. The draft doesn't mean anything at this point. It doesn't. There's no stakes to it, and you gotta have stakes. That's how people care.
And they don't put any effort into it.
Yeah, and they don't. Yeah.
So why should I care if you're not going to put any effort into it?
That's facts. No,
it's true.
All right, let's go and move on down to the greatest segment in all the 3 Count Podcast. It is time for the Red Dogs Power Rankings.
This gets longer and longer every single time.
Look at the triceps. Anyway.
Okay.
I know. I was praying that I wouldn't. I was literally like saying a prayer in my head, like,
so does it make me a bad brother if I wanted to see him fall too?
Look, I was saying a prayer. I was like, look, if I fall, that'd be horrible.
Yeah, that's cool. So we're gonna talk about what the number 10 match was because we don't have any honorable mentions this week. So we did actually put out honorable mention. We did have with Alex Kane and Buddy. So let's talk number 10. I want to see what you guys have to say about this. It is the New Day versus AJ Styles, Omos, and Bobby Lashley at Extreme Rules. We jump into number 9. Alexander Hammerstone versus Tom Lawler at MLW. We gotta get into that because that was fire. We're gonna get number 8, man. This is one of my favorites that happened up this week. It was Christopher Daniels versus Madman Fulton on Impact. I just like seeing Christopher Daniels wrestle. He's fun. We're going to go into number 7, which I don't know how you guys feel about this match, but I genuinely was entertained and invested. We're going to talk about Sasha Banks versus Bianca Belair on SmackDown.
I mean, I didn't hate the match.
Let's go to number 6. It was the Usos versus the Street Profits at Extreme Rules. It was a fun match. I really enjoyed this one. We're going to jump into number 5. This being Big E versus Bobby Lashley in a steel cage match on Raw.
Yep.
Genuinely was a fan. I popped a lot for this. Going to number 4. This match can be found on Dynamite when it was the man himself, Adam Cole, baby, versus Jungle Boy. Let's go. I ain't in front. This was such a fun match on Dynamite. I enjoyed a lot of it.
I was fully invested. That was almost that was going to be my match of the week if I didn't see Bryan Danielson and Nick Jackson. That was my match of the week until Friday. I'm not even front. That was my match of the week.
So let's talk about it.
I'm mad it's not your number 1 though.
Yeah, so let's talk about the number 3 match of the week. Number 3, Bryan Danielson versus Nick Jackson at Rampage.
So what is it?
Yo. So both the matches that are number 1 and number 2 are from Extreme Rules. I was heavily invested in both of them. Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair is number 2 from Extreme Rules. I enjoyed that match. I thought it was really good, and I love the way how it ended. So let's talk about number 1. He is the Tribal Chief.
Hello.
He's the head of the table, and he is the only man to beat the Demon on Extreme Rules. Regardless of how you feel about the stupid rope breaking Okay, I was just heavily invested into this match, and I really was into it. So yes, Roman Reigns versus Finn Balor at Extreme Rules. That is your number one match of the week.
Thank you for acknowledging your tribal chief, Cliff.
Fuck the demon, Finn Balor.
People really thought the demon was going to be the tribal chief. My tribal chief.
They're idiots.
Your tribal chief. The man that sits at the head of the table. Roman mother freaking Reigns. Whatever, no demon, man.
But there you have it, man. That's your top 10, so.
Yeah, okay. I don't hate your top 10.
It was tough, man, because it's like I find myself invested in both in Adam Cole's match as well as Bryan Danielson's match. But I was like, damn, dude, like Roman and Finn like tore the roof down. Now, granted, there was some weird things that happened with Roman's match with like Finn doing the whole flop like a fish thing, but
he was being resurrected.
Regardless, whatever, a fish out of water flop that he had, but. I did buy in, like, when the music, like, started, like, that breathe in, and he just stood up, I was like, yo, that's lit. What I didn't like was the fucking music playing behind the match. As soon as he had that, like, yo, then let him run, then shut off the music. But, whatever, man. God was on Roman's side and caused the rope to break, so. Tit is what tit is.
Alrighty, then. Well, I don't see any big problem with your power rankings, so you get a pass from me, Red Dog. Any other comments in our comment section, in our chat box before we sign off? Any questions, anything?
Actually, this is a good question. Should they break up tag teams, a.k.a. the New Day?
No, they're moneymakers.
I was like, they didn't really break up the tag team. I mean, granted, like, the trio kind of they didn't really break them up. They just kind of, like, separated them. Not really a true breakup, like the Shield breakup.
So I think they should. When they, like, in a sense, when you broke, like, not say broke the Hardys, but you can split the Hardy, like you had Matt on one show and Jeff on the other. Or like when they did the Dudleys, when Devon was on SmackDown and Bubba was Raw, and then I don't have a problem with them breaking up tag. Yeah. Like I think, because whether it all depends on what you want to do as far as when you're, reshuffling the deck, as far as the roster goes on each show. They just need to have a true brand. I think that's also just the brand split itself. I think that's also a thing with the draft. Is there, we can talk about that all night long. Brand split or not. So, alrighty, folks, if you made it to the end of this episode, thank you. Congratulations. Trophy, achieved. So yeah, I gotta tell you, listen, you deserve an achievement for getting to the end of the debate show. For those of you who have not already done so, make sure you like, you share, and subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast. If you're listening to this audio version of this show, make sure you subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. Anywhere there's a podcast, we're on there. Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Anchor, podcast.com. All right, we're just everywhere, okay? So make sure you subscribe, especially on Apple Podcasts. If you do have Apple Podcasts, give us a 5-star frog splash review on Apple Podcasts. Definitely share us on and like us on Spotify. Do all that. Share it. Follow us on social media. 3count_pod on Twitter. 3countpod everywhere else. We have everything on social media. Get on our OnlyFans page. You never know what might pop up on there. Okay, I bet you this. What's on there won't be for free or anywhere else. So you never know. All right, so definitely do that. Buy a shirt, ProWrestlingTees.com/3countpod. Get yourself a 3 Count Podcast t-shirt. Also, go to Auto Maneuver. Get yourself a Red Dog t-shirt. He got one in the back there. Get a Duffin Season shirt too while you're at it. The hottest tag team in the DMV that everybody's talking about. And shout out to Gabe, the unofficial member of the 3 Count Podcast. Walking back in. Gabe's the janitor for the studio.
I'm gonna tell him that too. I'm gonna tell him that too.
Oh, and Gabe's cool. Gabe's cool. I never thought I actually liked Josh's roommate. I thought he was having a weird one, but no, Gabe's been cool. So, but anyway, folks, thank you for listening to the 3 Count Podcast. I'm your host, your boy, your nephew, your cousin, the Don, one half of the greatest tag team, the most undeniable tag team, the Negroes, the Kenny G of indie tag teams, and the hardest worker with the hardest schedule on the 3 Count Podcast. Here with my boy, the Red Dog of Red Dogs, Cliff Red Dog Miller, the drip master himself. Seth Rollins ain't got shit on my little brother. Drip JJ here. Tune in next week